And we are just about set for baseball here on a pretty warm Tuesday afternoon here at Cal Poly Pomona, Scalinos Field. So glad that you could join us from wherever you may be. It's 2:05 local time right now here in Pomona, California. We were supposed to have a 2 o'clock start for the first game, but we are a little bit late as there's a parking issue, a major parking issue out here with Cal Poly Pomona still in session, and some of the umpires, and myself included, couldn't find a single spot in this entire lot. And so the umpires had to scurry around the campus to find parking, and have finally made their way to home plate, which you can see right now here on InlandValleyBaseball.com. The reason I bring that up, of course, is because this is the first year we've gone to live video. Previously, it was always audio in the past. So this is new for the Pirates, but for the Buccaneers, they had our inaugural broadcast in video yesterday. They played a game at Long Beach City College against the Legends. And to say it was a wild game would be kind of, selling the game short. I mean, the final score, if you can imagine, if you can believe this, was 13-12. And it looked like it might be starting well for the Bucs when they got a one-run first inning and then had runners on second and third, one out. But those two guys were stranded. But that didn't matter because, as we mentioned, they ended up with 12 runs. But then, in that bottom half of the first, it's the Buccaneers giving up 4 runs to the Legends. They fell behind 4-1. Then, later in the game, in the third inning, they're down 6-2. And then in the fifth inning, they get a 6-run fifth to take an 8-6 lead. But the Legends answer right back in the bottom half of the inning. They make it 10-8. They tack on one more to make it 11-8. And then the Bucs score one in the 8th. It's 11-9. We head into the 9th inning, 11-9. 2 outs, bases loaded. And there's a 3-run double that gives the Bucs a 12-11 lead. And just like that, you think they might be able to steal it. But in the bottom of the 9th, 2 costly errors end up giving the Legends the victory. One scored the first run, and then another scored the second run. So it was a kind of bittersweet beginning for what looks like a very good season of promise for the Buccaneers. Of course, last year was their inaugural season, and this year they're looking to play better. But this is the Pirates, and this is the first game of the season for Inland Valley Pirates. This, of course, is the Pirates' 3rd season, coming off a runner-up performance last year in the SCCBL. They were actually the co-champions for the regular season, tying with the Palm Springs Power, each team winning 12 games in conference, 4 losses. And just a banner year for the Pirates, really breaking out with a 26-8 overall record. We mentioned the 12-4 conference record, and then losing 2 games in the SCCBL Championship Series. They also won the 1-game playoff between the 2 and 3 seed against Team San Diego. But you want to talk about great pitching and great defense. That's basically what the Pirates have been based on here their first 2 seasons, hoping to maybe get a little bit more power this year. But they did show power towards the end of the season last year, especially in those playoff games. And some of the guys that we look forward to seeing back here, well, a lot of them are on the field right now. Actually, if you look around and you see Johnny Reynoso, and you see Brett Early, and you see Channing Varela. And so, thank you. I say thank you because, you could probably just see it on the screen. As I mentioned, parking was crazy, and Vic Espinosa volunteered to move my car into a legal spot, so that was very nice of him. And we are underway here at Cal Poly Pomona, Scalinos Field, the home of the 3-time national champion Cal Poly Pomona Broncos. This one's low for a ball, 1-1 the count. Of course, this season, speaking of Cal Poly, they finished 3rd in the Division II World Series. Called strike 2 for Brett Early. 1-2 the count. We'll get you the defensive arrangements set really quickly, as well as the lineup for Lake Havasu. Ground ball left side, 2-hopper over to Johnny Reynoso. He backhands it and fires across the diamond to the first baseman, Gomez. And so we'll get you set with the defensive alignments now here. It'll be Anthony Virgin out there in left field, who's actually picking up the baseball now. And then it'll be in center field. We've got Nolan Henley. He is a University of Laverne Leopard, which is Brett Early, where he plays for too. He's on the mound, by the way. In right field, you've got Kyle Jackson, usually in the infield, but out there in right today. Johnny Reynoso, the aforementioned Johnny Reynoso, who threw out Alex White, the leadoff hitter for Lake Havasu. And here is Butch Ray for Lake Havasu. He takes strike one, and it's 0-1. And going across left to right in the infield is Reynoso, Nellis, Varela, Gomez, and behind home plate, Nick Marshall. Late kick, and here's the pitch. 0-1 misses inside and maybe low for ball one. 1-1 the count. Here's the lineup for Lake Havasu. Alex White grounded out to the third baseman. Butch Ray is currently batting. In the 3 spot is Connor Rachon. High fly ball, and this is very playable for Brett Early, who will make the catch about halfway down that first base line, and that'll be the second out here in the inning. So 2 up and 2 down for Brett Early, who had a really stellar season for University of Laverne. In fact, he was their ace, and he was the guy that basically willed them to that SCIAC championship. And then he took the mound in game 1 of the D3 tournament, and he was going against the #1 seed Trinity in Texas on their home field and shut them down in 8 innings. This pitch misses for a ball to Connor Rachon. Cleaning up will be Urquizo, then it's Scully. Carballo. This one misses high and away. It's a fastball. It's Digant, Amendola, and Ty Moore rounds up the lineup for Lake Havasu. Lake Havasu coming 4 hours here to play 4 games in the next couple of days. This one's called a strike on the inside corner, and it's 2-1. So they'll enjoy a lot of baseball here as this fastball swung on and fouled out of play down the third base line. 2-2 the count. So Early, Brett Early, getting a nice early start here for the Pirates. 6'2", 205 right-handed pitcher working out of the windup. Looking in at his catcher's signs, likes what he sees. Fires, breaking pitch called strike 3, and there was nothing the hitter could do as Brett Early retires the side in order here in the top of the first inning. So a nice top of the first inning here for the Pirates. Of course, this is their first game of the season, and it'll be Jeff Nellis, Johnny Reynoso, and Channy Varela when we come back. And welcome back to Scalino's Field. We're on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. So glad you could join us here for what is the first of 2 and the first actual game for the entire season for the Pirates. Here is the lineup that Charlie Reynoso sends out for Game 1. Leading off, the shortstop Jeff Nellis. Then it's Johnny Reynoso in the 2-hole. Channing Varela batting 3rd. Cleanup hitter is Kyle Jackson. Anthony Virgin batting 5th. Justin Gomez batting 6th. Nolan Henley in the 7th spot. Then it's Nick Marshall and Troy Resch. he rounds out the starting lineup. First pitch swung on, lifted to deep left center field, actually shallow left center field, and making a diving catch is the left fielder out there, Moore. Nice play there by Tyler Moore. So first pitch that he sees, Nellis lifts into shallow left field, and on his horse, the left fielder making a nice diving catch. And that's the first out here for Lake Havasu. On the mound for Lake Havasu is Chris Quackenbush, the right-handed hurler, wearing number 10. Fires a fastball in the outside corner, called strike one. 0-1 the count. Here's how the defensive alignment looks for Lake Havasu. It'll be Moore, Urquizo, and Rashawn going left to right across the outfield. And here comes the 0-1, fastball in the dirt, ball one, 1-1 the count. Then going left to right across the infield, it's Amendolara, White, Rhea, Scully, and Carballo is the catcher. On deck, Channing Varela. Ground ball, right side, two-hopper over to the first baseman, Scully, who has it under control and steps on the bag for the 3 unassisted put out. So 2 up and 2 down here for the Pirates. So 5 batters up and 5 down so far between these two teams. As we were mentioning a little bit a couple weeks of the season, he's a guy that played for Orange Coast College this past season and won a state championship at the junior collegiate ranks. First pitch here, fastball low for ball one to Kyle Jackson. So 1-0 the count to the right fielder. We're used to seeing Kyle Jackson play second base in the past. This is his 3rd season with the Pirates, playing his previous 2. This one swung on, lifted to right field. Will it get down? Yes, it gets down for a base hit. And that'll be the 2nd consecutive base hit here for the Pirates in the bottom of the 1st inning. So the first 2 were down. That was Nellis, who had the fly ball to left field with a diving catch made by Moore. And then there was a ground ball, 3 unassisted put out on a Johnny Reynoso ground ball to the right side. And then these 2 consecutive base hits. Kyle Jackson with the most recent one and Channing Varela with the first. Here's Anthony Virgin, an SCCBL All-Star last season. Takes a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Well, Anthony this season will be without his brother. His brother Nathan was on the team last year and the previous year as well. But this year it's just Anthony. Nice breaking pitch. Just missed, maybe on towards the first base line. On deck is Justin Gomez, the first baseman. Here's the pitch. Another nice breaking pitch. This one fouled back towards the screen and the on-deck circle where the aforementioned Gomez is, who picks up the baseball. And we'll do it again. Another 2-2 pitch here to come to Virgin. Virgin is actually the older of the 2 Virgin brothers. Swings at this one and fouls it literally straight back at the screen and us, maybe about a foot over my head where I am stationed, pretty much right behind home plate, off-centered a little bit down the first base line. Working out of the stretch, here's the pitch from Quackenbush. Another nice breaking pitch. This one's in the dirt. And so now the bases are loaded. And speaking of Anthony Virgin, it's no surprise that he draws a walk there. Last season he had a .435 on-base percentage for the summer. So bases full of Pirates here, and Justin Gomez is the batter, the left-hander playing first base today. Here's the pitch. Swings at the first pitch he sees and fouls it down the first base line. 0-1 the count. Justin Gomez, one of the new Pirate additions for this season, 6'0", 185-pounder, headed to Azusa Pacific. Another good Division II program that made the Western Regional this past season. This one's high and away. Ball one, 1-1 the count. So 1-1 the count here to Gomez. Bases full of Pirates. You've got Channing Varela on third. He had a single. You have the end of the first inning of play, and the score remains 0-0. Pirates and Fire doing battle here at Cal Poly Pomona. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
that bind you together forever, and these little things define you.
The Lake Havasu Fire. Well, for the Pirates, breaking pitch swung on and missed. Swung over that one, and it's 2-1. For the Pirates, first two hitters were retired, but then the next three all reach base, but they strand all three here in the first game of the season. Another off-speed pitch missing upstairs, and it's 3-1. So the cleanup hitter now with a hitter's pitch to come, 3-1. Early actually retired the side his first inning. Let's see what he does this one. Comes with a little slider on the outside corner for called strike 2. Brett Early, 6'2", 205, right-handed pitcher from University of Laverne. Here's the pitch. Another breaking pitch, and this one just misses for a ball. And so that'll be the first base runner of the game here for Lake Havasu. But Early, I mean, really didn't get the chance to tell the story about him as much in the first inning because he worked so quickly. As we mentioned, he retired the lineup in order. Here comes the number 5 spot in the lineup, and that's Tyler Scully, the first baseman. Large right-handed hitter for all-time leader in strikeouts for Inland Valley. Another breaking pitch in there, and it's called a strike. And it's 2-1. Checking over at first is Brett Early, and here's the pitch. Breaking pitch, snap throw down to first, not in time, by Nick Marshall, the catcher. Brett Early working out of the stretch. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul and out of play down the first base line. Well, Brett Early, remember last season as he's working with a 2-strike pitch here, he had a couple innings that he pitched against the East LA Dodgers. Line drive up the middle over towards the shortstop. He flips it to second. Varela turns it for a double play. So a really nifty double play turn by Nellis over to Varela. And there's 2 down here on the 6th catcher, Jose Carballo. Well, among other things, Brett Early, he enjoys kickboxing. So that's something unusual. Line drive into right center field, and that's going to be the first base hit of the day for the Fire. And that'll be a single out there into right center field. So Carballo reaches on the single. And here comes a left-handed hitter, and that's Tyler Digant, the designated hitter at that for the Havasu Fire. Brett Early comes set in the stretch, checks the runner, fires home, fastball in at the knees, called a strike on the inside half. 0-1 the count here. Brett Early, as we mentioned, leading the Pirates with 62 strikeouts in his career. Now he has 63 after 1 in the first inning. Another off-speed pitch in at the knees, called a strike, and it's 0-2. Pitched 25 innings last year for the Pirates, most of them relief appearances. Did have a 1-0 record and 1 save, and had That, of course, is Brett Early, who's only allowed one hit. High fly ball, shallow right center field. Coming in and making the grab is the right fielder, Rashawn, over there for the first out of the inning. So still no score here in the bottom of the second inning. If you're just joining us, we did start a little bit late, about 5 minutes late, so we hope that you were bearing with us as the stream obviously didn't start at exactly 2 o'clock. But if you are just joining us, we had a little bit of an unusual first inning just in the sense that we had the first 2 batters retired, and then the bases were loaded. And here's the pitch, fastball in there, strike 1, 0-1 the count here to Nick Marshall, the catcher. But Pirates couldn't come through with the bases loaded, so left 3 men on board back in the first inning. Slow off-speed pitch, painting the black on the outside corner, called strike 2, and it's 0-2 here to Nick Marshall. Nick Marshall, 5'11", 225-pound, right-handed hitter, swings and misses at this breaking pitch, and that'll be strike 3. So Nick Marshall goes down on 3 consecutive strikes from Chris Quackenbush. Chris Quackenbush, the 6'0", 170-day first-team all-conference selection for Citrus College, where he hit .336, had 26 RBIs, and 24 runs scored. Here's the pitch from Quackenbush. Misses low for ball 1. 1-1 the count. 6'1", 210-pound left-handed hitter is Troy Resch. He is headed to Cal State East Bay. Lay kick, and here's the pitch. Swung on and foul back right at us. And so it'll be 1-2 as the on-deck batter, Jeff Nellis, will pick it up and put it in his pocket. Here's the 1-2 offering. Swung on in line to the right side and through the hole for a base hit. So Troy Resch is batting 1,000. He is 1 for 1 on the season. And let's see if the Pirates can potentially go on another 2-out rally here in the first inning. Although in the second inning, I should say. Although in the first inning, when they went on a 2-out rally, 3 men reached base, but none scored. So this time, if they do go on a rally, here's the pitch. Breaking pitch in the dirt, checks his swing and holds up and tells the runner over at first base to stay put. So 1-2 the count here to the leadoff hitter in the lineup, Jeff Nellis. He takes high and tight and had to get out of the way, brush back action on that last pitch to say the least, over to Nellis, and it'll be 2-2. He's just fresh off winning a state championship at the JC ranks from Orange Coast College. A few guys on this team from Orange Coast College. Swings at this one and lines it to the left side. Third baseman trying to make the play, knocks it down and goes the short way over to second base. So Amendola, he retires. Resch trying to get over to second base, and that'll do it here on the fielder's choice to end the inning, 5-4. Well, at the end of 2 complete innings of play, it remains a scoreless tie. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the top of 3 we go. There is no score so far here between the Pirates and Fire. Brett Early remains on the mound for Inland Valley. Meanwhile, coming to the plate is the third baseman, Brandon Amendolare. He takes low for ball 1, 1-0 the count. He's the guy that just made that last play, knocked down the line drive with his glove, and went the short way over to second base to get the force. Fastball low and away. Ball 2. 2-0 the count. Well, we thank you for bearing with us. We understand that there was a little bit of a mix-up with the internet at one point as this one misses inside. We got disconnected from our server shortly, but reconnected very shortly thereafter. So we thank you for bearing with us for that. Maybe missed about a minute of the broadcast there, as this one's called a strike on the outside corner here to Brandon. Brett Early towing the rubber, leg kick, and here's the pitch. Breaking pitch low and away, and that'll be a walk here. So we talked about it in the past. This is the first Pirates game, but anytime you issue that free pass, the odds go up drastically in the sense of the offense being able to at least score that one run. In fact, I believe the odds are, at least at the collegiate ranks, I heard this the other day watching the collegiate baseball tournament, your chances go up 50%. Here's the pitch, squaring around and now bringing it back is the number 9 hitter in the lineup, Ty Moore. But it's called a strike at the dish by the home plate umpire, and it's 0-1 here. So Lake Havasu, with their leadoff man on board, looking to take advantage here as you've got the number 9 hitter on the lineup, and then back to the top of the lineup. Here's the pitch, breaking pitch, grounded over towards Reynoso. Reynoso catches it on the one hop and fires across the diamond for the first out here in the inning. So 5-3 there if you're scoring at home. Brandon Amendolare, he advances 90 feet in the scoring position here with one out in the top of the third inning. Dave Soberai on the play-by-play. So glad that you could join us for the very first Inland Valley Pirate broadcast of the season. There will be many to follow. In fact, there will be one to follow later on today. We'll keep you abreast as to whether or not it'll be a complete game or maybe just we'll pick it up in the fourth inning with play-by-play, but we'll let you know about that later on, whether it be through Twitter or during this broadcast. Fastball misses upstairs. Ball 1, 1-0 the count to Alex White. Alex White 0 for 1, grounded out to the third baseman, Johnny Reynoso, in his first at-bat back in the first inning. Early checks the runner at second. Nobody covering him. Here's the pitch. Slow off-speed pitch called a strike on the outside corner. Well, for the Pirates, this is a season where it's kind of been like in steps. This will be their third season here in the SCCBL. This, of course, is a non-league game against Lake Havasu. Coming set, here's the pitch for Early. Called a strike on the inside corner, a kind of backdoor breaking ball variety to a right-handed hitter. And so that'll be a 2-strike count here for the leadoff hitter, Alex White. So White will have to protect. But we say it's kind of going step by step here, as this is the third season they've been in the SCCBL, because the first season they kind of just got their feet wet, and they were good, though. They were a 500 ball club that first season, but last season, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, going 26-8 and making the championship game. Fly ball, and that's going to be a bloop base hit to right field. Coming in and making the throw is the right fielder Jackson to the cutoff man and first baseman Gomez. So Jackson looked like he was playing pretty shallow there on that bloop hit, was able to make sure that the runner from second couldn't come home to score. But now Brett Early in a little bit of a jam here in the top of the third inning, as you've got runners on first and third with only one out. And the number 2 hitter in the lineup, Butch Rhea. Rhea's 0 for 1, flew out down the first base line about halfway between home plate and first base to the pitcher, Brett Early. Early's going to make a little pickoff throw over to first base, kind of keeping the base runner, Alex White, on his toes. Of course, anytime you're a leadoff hitter, that usually means you got a lot of speeds, and that maybe not a bad idea to try to keep him close to that bag, and he has kept Alex White very close to the bag. Very small lead over there. Bunt down the first baseline, foul. And it almost curved back in as it hit the edge of the grass on the foul side. It looked like it was almost sliding back towards the field of play, but stayed foul. as the Pirates alertly picked it up in foul territory. So a little bit of small ball maybe being employed here by the Fire, trying to safety squeeze home a run with a bunt. And that's certainly something you see a lot in college baseball. Here's Brett Early, hurling the pitch, fastball high and inside for a ball. And time will be called for by Vic Espinosa. So Vic Espinosa will come out and call the infield in as well to talk things over here with runners on the corners. Here in the top of the third inning, 1 out, no score. Pirates and Fire doing battle for the first of 2 here today. As we mentioned, the Fire will be back at it again tomorrow, bright and early, 10 a.m., against the Buccaneers, the other Inland Valley team here that plays at Cal Poly Pomona. Speaking of them, there's also a third team this year, and they will be called the OC Buccaneers. They're 1-1 right now. As we have an extended conference at the mound, and the home plate umpire goes to break that thing up and bring play back. Vic will walk back to the dugout, and we're ready to restart here with runners on the corners, top of the third inning. Early checks the runner at first very quickly, and now comes set working out of the stretch from the left side of the rubber. Time called for at the plate as Early was being very deliberate, taking a fair amount of time. So Butch Rea decides, I'm waiting a little bit too long here at the plate, and calls for time just before Early started his motion. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed. Actually, it was foul tipped, but it was caught by the catcher Nick Marshall. As it's a 2-strike count here for Brett Early. A little bit of wind all of a sudden. Maybe you saw a little bit of a gust of dirt going across right to left across your screen from behind home plate. The runner's off with the pitch, swung on and fouled off the ankle. So we'll do it again. Another 2-strike pitch to come here. So Brett Early hoping to get a few early starts in this season. As we mentioned, most of his appearances last year were in relief, but he had a very, very good outing against the Palm Springs Power. Went 2 2/3 in the championship series and really shut them down. Here's the pitch. Ground ball left side, deep in the hole, and making a sliding grab as Nellis fires over to first, but the play can't be made over there by Gomez, the first baseman. So a run comes home to score, and the runner on second will advance to third on the error. So Lake Havasu, they take a 1-0 lead. Here in the top of the third inning. And here comes Connor Rashawn, the third batter in the lineup, takes high and away. Ball 1, 1-0 the count. 0 for 1 on the day, struck out looking the first time to Brett Early. Early checks the runner. Runner goes, ground ball left side. The runner will be safe at second. Reynoso has it under control though, but a nice backhanded grab and dig at that by Gomez this time to retire the runner, and that'll be the second out here. 5-3. As we mentioned, Butch Rea will head to second base as he was off with the pitch. A lot of times you see a hitter at the plate kind of hold up when he sees if his runner gets such a big lead over there, but he must have thought he could really wreck that pitch. And this one is just foul down the third base line. High chopper by Brandon Urquizo, the center fielder for Lake Havasu. Was very close as Johnny Reynoso is kind of smiling and laughing about it. Brett Early comes set, working out of the stretch. Late kick, and here's the pitch. Fastball swung and fouled back behind home plate. Well, we're so glad that you could join us here once again for the first broadcast of the Pirates this season. This is our second broadcast of the season overall, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, calling a Buccaneers game that was wild, to say the very least, yesterday. This one's in the dirt for a ball. The appeal down to second base and no swing. The reason you're appealing down to second base is because there's 2 umpires working in this game, of course. If there were 3, there'd be a guy down the first base and third base line, but not when you can only have 2 guys. Here's the pitch from Early. Fastball called, strike 3. So down goes Brandon Urquizo, and Early gets out of the mini jam with only 1 run allowed. So at the end of 2.5 innings of play, it's now a 1-0 ball game. Fire on top of the Pirates. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And we'll head to the bottom of the 3rd inning as Johnny Reynoso comes to the plate. 2-3-4 in the lineup is where we are. 1-0 the score. First pitch he sees is lined into center field, and charging in and making the grab is Urquizo out there on the first pitch that Reynoso saw. So 1 pitch and 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning for the Pirates. They trail 1-0 as Channing Varela steps up to the plate. Channing Varela is 1 for 1. We mentioned back when he was batting in the last inning, plays for Orange Coast College and was part of a junior collegiate state championship team. First pitch he sees is a ball, and it's 1-0 to Channing. Channing, 5'9", 170-pound right-handed hitter, a middle infielder for the Pirates, playing second base today. Grounds it to the right side at his counterpart, the second baseman Rhea, and he makes the play over to first to retire Varela. So 2 up and 2 down here for the Inland Valley Pirates in the bottom of the 3rd, as Kyle Jackson will step up to the plate. Kyle Jackson 1 for 1, singled. He was an all-star in the SCCBL back in 2013. Here's the pitch. High and tight, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Led the team in batting average that year with a .340 clip. Had another pretty good season last year. It was kind of almost like an all-star snub, you would say. Batting .311 last season. Here's the pitch. Line drive into right field. No, a leaping catch made by the second baseman, Rhea. And Rhea's played a very, very good second base here today. And so 3 up and 3 down here for the Pirates in the 3rd inning. And it remains a 1-0 score at the end of 3. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
There must be some kind of way out of here. Said the Joker to the thief, yeah. There's too much confusion. I can't get no relief.
Yeah, I see jokers on my left, beats up on my right. You find me in the middle if I picked a different life. Before my name started trickling inside, but I'm still showing signs, all attributed to mine. In the pitch black, it's too cold, I'm all alone. Take me back to the roads, I had to roam to get here and I'll hitch back. Get a cab to my mother's house, see my old man and grab a six-pack. Tell my brother I love him and give him something that will see him through the hard times. What's a brother for? When I'm sick of this life I see, it has to be my family who lift me off the floor. Make sense of all the madness, in a world full of money, full of tears, full of war. I was a power man, I worked from the earth up. Save your wine for the entrepreneurs.
To the top of 4 we go. 1-0 remains the score. First pitch is on the outside corner, called a strike. And it is 0-1 here for Brett Early. Brett Early is facing Tyler Scully. Scully grounds this one foul and into his own dugout down the third base line. I've mentioned it before, but a lot of the time you'll see the home team in the third base dugout and the road team in the first base dugout. But the reason the Pirates always choose that first base dugout is this one's lined foul down the first base line, right at the first base umpire, who confirms the call is foul. So another 2-strike pitch to count. The reason they choose that first base line, and Cal Poly Pomona does that as well, is because that dugout is usually in the shade during day games. Whereas if you look at the third base dugout, a lot of the time you're in the sun. And down that third base line, and a lot of the guys who are sitting out there are sitting directly in the sun from Lake Havasu. Leg kick, and here's the pitch from Early. Big slow breaker, just missing from Brett. So Brett Early, first couple innings were very good. Last inning gave up a run. This is going to be a called strike 3 on the outside corner. And so 2 consecutive strikeouts here for Brett Early. And Brett, as we mentioned, coming into the season was the all-time leader for career strikeouts for the Pirates. 62 in his career. Now up to 65 with the 3 here today. Working these 3 1/3 innings. Toeing the rubber, working out of the windup. Here's the pitch. Misses for a ball. 1-0 the count here to Jose Carballo. Carballo is 1 for 1 and singled back in the second inning. This one's grounded to the right side over towards Channing Varela, and he has it under control. Nice little play made over there by the first baseman Gomez for the second out here in the top of the 4th inning. So the Pirates playing a good defense for the most part. And Brett Early has also done a stellar job on the mound. But hoping to get the bats going a little bit more as we go on in this game. Checks his swing, but is going to be called a strike anyways, and it's 0-1. Brett Early will be a senior next season. Here's the pitch. And it just misses low and away for ball 1. 1-1 count to Taylor DeGant. He's 0 for 1 and grounded out to the right side of the infield, more specifically at the man who just made the last play. Here's the pitch. Channing Varela, of course, is who I'm referring to, as this one is fouled straight back, and it'll be 1-2. Well, we figured to see a lot of changes coming up very shortly for the Pirates, as, you know, it's a customary thing in summer collegiate baseball. Fastball upstairs, ball 2, 2-2 the count, as the hitter DeGant checked his swing and held up. Left-handed hitter rocking an open stance. Here's the pitch. Swings at it and fouls it back behind home plate, so we'll do it again. Another 2-2 to come, as there's a loud thud after that baseball, whatever it hit. Not exactly sure, but hopefully it wasn't a car. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch in the dirt, ball 3. So a very, very good at bat here for Tyler DeGant, being very patient, fouling some pitches off, showing great plate discipline, and now he has that full count. Payoff pitch to come. Early versus DeGant, the designated hitter in the lineup, batting in the number 7 spot for the Fire. Here's the pitch from Early, the 3-2. Checks his swing. And he's going to stay in the batter's box. Maybe it clipped his bat. Anyways, we'll go on. Here's the pitch from early, and this one will miss outside for ball 4. So that'll be a walk. Free pass given to DeGant, but that one you would say is kind of almost anything but a free pass, as he really worked that walk, fouling off a number of pitches, seeing about 8 pitches in that at bat. And here comes the number 8 hitter in the lineup, Brandon Amendolara. He has not had an official at bat because he walked back in the 3rd inning and scored the only run of the game. Here's the pitch, and it's low for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Well, he is the 8th spot in the lineup, and then it'll go to Ty Moore and Alex White. So that's where we are in the Lake Havasu lineup, as this one misses downstairs, ball 2, 2-0 the count. Well, for the Pirates, we were starting to mention that you always see the widespread changes, usually either after the 4th inning or after the 5th inning. This is the top of the 4th, so we'll keep our eye on that. Of course, it won't happen in the bottom half of the inning, but it would potentially happen in either the 5th or the 6th. So that's just one thing to look for, as it's now 3-0. Here's the 3-0. Called a strike. 3-1 the count. Amendolara thought, well, maybe it would be a 4-pitch walk. It looked like he maybe took a step down the first baseline before the umpire said, come back. It's 3-1. Pickoff attempt over the first. Getting dirty over there is the runner DeGant, and he was, of course, safe. Here's the pitch. This one misses inside. Ball 4, 5-pitch walk drawn, so 2 consecutive walks here from Brett Early. Time called for by the catcher, Nick Marshall, as Brett Early will meet him about 3/4 of the way down the mound, and they head back up to the bump. As the number 9 hitter in the lineup, Ty Moore, comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to the 3rd baseman, Johnny Reynoso. Reynoso charging that one, if you remember, catching it off the 1-hop. Did a good job on a ball that might have caught a few guys kind of off on a little bit of a tweener type of ball. You're not exactly sure if you want to catch it on the 1-hop or let it bounce again. That's what you got to do at the hot corner. You got to charge, as this one misses for a ball, and it's 1-0. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike on the outside, and it's 1-1. A lot of Pirates games last year, if you're wondering, just thinking about it maybe, most of them took about 2.5 hours. The Buccaneers game yesterday, well over 3 hours, ground ball foul down the first base line. So just if you're wondering sort of what the pace of the game is in the summer collegiate leagues, that's more or less what it's like. It's usually about a 2.5-hour game. So if you're thinking about it, we should be able to indeed finish both games here today, even though we got a little bit of a late start at 2:05. Should be plenty of time to complete 2 games. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch swung on and lined in the center field. Nolan Henley on his horse and can't make the grab. May have just taken his eye off it at the last second. He's going to fire home, but it's too late. And now the runner at first is heading down the second, and the throw made by Nick Marshall in time gets him. So a good alert play by Nick Marshall, showing off that cannon behind home plate and retiring the base runner Ty Moore, who reached on the error. And so that'll do it here for the top of the 4th inning. But the Fire, I should say, get another run. And now it's 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
We are the jack-o'-lanterns in July, setting fire to the sky. know time crawls on when you're waiting for the song to start. So dance alone to the beat of your heart. Hey, young blood, doesn't it feel like our time is running out? I'm gonna change you like a remix, then I'll raise you like a phoenix. Wearing a vintage misery. Now I think you look a little better on me. I'm gonna change you like a remix, then I'll raise you.
And welcome back to Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. So glad you've joined us. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play as Anthony Virgin will take ball one low, and it's 1-0 from number 10 on the Fire. That, of course, is Chris Quackenbush, who started the game for the Fire. Fouled straight back at the screen, and it's 1-1 here to Anthony Virgin. Virgin 6'0", 210-pound right-handed hitter. A mainstay in Charlie Reynoso's lineup last year, right around this spot, right around the 4 or 5 spot. A lot of power. Also very good with on-base percentage, as this one is lined in the left field for a base hit by Anthony Virgin. So Virgin, as we mentioned in his previous plate appearance, was sort of an on-base machine last year for the Pirates, getting on base with a .435 on-base percentage. And this season it's more of the same. A walk and a hit. So he's 2 for 2 in terms of the on-base percentage here in the first game of the season. First pitch bounces in the dirt, 59-footer. Anthony Virgin will take 90 feet and go up to second base as the hitter, Justin Gomez, kind of just watched the ball go past him over into the fence area behind home plate. So it's 1-0 for Gomez. Gomez 0 for 1, but if you remember, he had a line drive down the right field line that was pretty much a line drive bullet, but just right fielder playing it very well. This is another line drive down right field line, but it'll be hooking foul, and it's 1-1 to Gomez. So Gomez really jumping all over Quackenbush's pitches, pulling him down that right field line. Runner's off very early, and he's going to steal third base is Virgin. And obviously anytime the catcher can't even attempt to throw down the third base, that's not on the catcher, it's on the pitcher, as Anthony Virgin left so early. Here's the pitch to Gomez. Fastball low for a ball. Of course, as a hitter, anytime you see a base runner that far off, about halfway down the baseline before the pitcher even pitches it, you want to take the pitch. And this one misses upstairs, ball 4. So walk drawn here for Justin Gomez. Pirates trailing 2-0, bottom of the 4th inning. Looking to maybe get a little bit of a rally going here in the bottom half of the 4th as Nolan Henley comes to the plate. The first 2 base runners reach here on a single and a walk. That's Anthony Virgin, who had the single to left field, who now stands on third base. And on first base, of course, Justin Gomez, who just walked. As we mentioned, Nolan Henley at the plate. Fly ball to left field, his first at-bat. Lines this one in the right field, going back way down the line and going all the way towards the fence is that one. In comes 1 run, it's 2-1, and Nolan Henley on his horse for a stand-up double. And now there'll be 2 runners in scoring position here, as that ball was about just 5-10 feet maybe away from that right field fence down the right field line for Nolan Henley. So Nolan Henley jumping on that first pitch he sees, hitting it down the right field line. And now you've got second and third here for the Pirates, as Nolan Henley records the RBI double, his first RBI of the season, and the first RBI for the Pirates of the season as well. Here's Nick Marshall, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Takes upstairs for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Marshall. Nick Marshall from Texas Tech. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, fouling out of play down the first base line. Hometown Huntington Beach, went to Marina High School. where he was a first-team All-League and All-Academic performer at that high school, Marina High School. So batting 8 here, and then it'll be Troy Resch batting 9th. He's on deck. This is going to be a ground ball to the shortstop, but the job is done. That's situational hitting. You hit a ground ball and you get an RBI, and you bring in the second run as Gomez crosses home plate, and it's now a 2-2 game. Also moving up 90 feet was Nolan Henley on the play, who moved into third base as Nick Marshall with the RBI ground out to shortstop. And here comes Troy Resch. He's 1 for 1 with a single back in the second inning. So just like that, the 2-run deficit is erased here in the bottom of the 4th for the Pirates. And Brett Hurley off the hook for the moment in terms of the potential loss. We'll see if he actually comes back out for the 5th inning, as this one misses away. Ball 1, 1-0 the count. Typically, we've seen the Pirates pitch a lot of pitchers early in the season, maybe 1 or 2 innings, as this one swung on, and a towering fly ball down the left field line, carrying all the way down the left field line, and it's fair, and the catch cannot be made. An error out in left field, and Resch is headed to second base as Henley comes in to score. So that'll be the 3rd run of the game here for the Pirates as Resch hits home Henley, and it would be more or less an RBI because it would have been a fly ball that would have scored Henley anyways. It's not going to be a hit, though, because it's an error. As even though you hit it directly down the line, it's a play that a collegiate left fielder needs to be able to handle. But 3-2 the score, Pirates on top. Fastball upstairs, ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Jeff Nellis. So an eventful 4th inning, to say the least. Anthony Virgin singled the left field and scored on the RBI double by Nolan Henley. Justin Gomez walked and scored as this one misses low for a ball. He scored, of course, on the RBI ground out by Nick Marshall. And then Nolan Henley just scored the 3rd run on that fly ball down the left field line. Runner on second, still runner in scoring position, that's Resch, as this one's grounded foul down the third base line by Jeff Nellis. Well, Jeff Nellis, this past season at Orange Coast College, was a first-team All-Orange Empire Conference selection. Had a very, very good season, a major in criminal justice. Originally committed to Nevada and went there for his freshman season before coming back home to Orange Coast College, as this one misses low and away to him. He's a guy that won a CIF title as well. There's a lot of guys, actually, or I don't know if it's a lot, but there's a number of guys for sure on the Pirates who actually won CIF titles. Ground ball, left side in the infield, backhanded grab made by the shortstop White deep in the hole, and he fires a nice backhanded grab too as well. A dig over there by the first baseman Scully to retire Nellis. So a good play all the way around there by both the shortstop and first baseman, as Jeff Nellis will ground out to his counterpart at shortstop. Here comes Johnny Reynoso. Reynoso 0 for 2. Grounded out to the first baseman and flew out to the center fielder, and I should really say lined out to the center fielder because he jumped all over the first pitch he saw in that second at-bat and hit a line drive bullet, but it just happened to be straight away center. First pitch he sees is away for a ball. Of course, Johnny Reynoso is the coach's son on this team. He also plays here at Cal Poly Pomona, so should feel comfortable in that batter's box, as this one misses low and away. 2-0 the count. Of course, his Cal Poly Pomona team advancing to the D2 World Series this season and finishing 3rd. Here's the pitch. Fastball low and inside, ball 3. 3-0 the count. Last year, pretty much any time the Pirates had a rally, you could always have Johnny Reynoso be part of it. You would just almost always feel like at some point he would be a part of it. He takes this one for strike 1, and it's 3-1. But That says a lot. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that he was producing the RBIs. It does mean that sometimes he was scoring the runs, but he was always in the middle of it, whether it was drawing a walk or even getting hit by a pitch or getting the big hit. Here's the pitch to him, and this is going to be a fastball, and this is called strike 2. So 3-2. Quackenbush fighting all the way back from down 3-0 to make it a full count here to Johnny Reynoso. 2 down, bottom of the 4th inning. 3 runs in. Pirates leading 3-2. High fly ball. That's going to be a foul. Will it be playable for the third baseman? No, it's out of play. So we'll do it again. Another payoff pitch to come here for Johnny Reynoso. 7th pitch of the at-bat to number 5. Channing Varela waits on deck. Channing Varela, he's 1 for 2 on the day, and the one where he was retired, he had a line drive bullet to the right side. As this pitch misses outside, and Reynoso draws the walk. So Reynoso showing patience after swinging at the first pitch he saw in his last at-bat, ends up seeing a number of pitches, 7 to be exact, this plate appearance, and ends up with a walk. In fact, he fouled 1 off. I believe he fouled 1 off, so didn't really even swing the bat on that last plate appearance. Here's Channing Varela. We mentioned he's 1 for 2. 58-footer in the dirt, trying to advance in the third base is Resch, and he does so, and so too does Reynoso. And now there's 2 men in scoring position here for the Inland Valley Pirates after the wild pitch. So both Reynoso and Resch advancing here for Channing Varela. Let's see if Varela can take full advantage of these 2 men in scoring position. Lines this one straight back from where it came from, up the middle. In comes 1 run, and that's Resch. And being held at third now is Johnny Reynoso, but the ball sails over the catcher's head. And now Reynoso's breaking late into home plate, and he scores. So 2 runs come home and score here, as it's now a 5-run 4th inning for the Inland Valley Pirates. So it was interesting at first that Charlie held up his son at third base. It looked like, you hit the ball to the outfield usually more often than not. You think a guy can score from second. And as Johnny was rounding and basically slid in third to kind of just make sure that he stayed there, the ball sailed well over the catcher's head, and then he advances on the throwing error to score that 5th run. Channing Varela also moved up to second base on the throwing error, so you credit him with the single, and as we mentioned, advancing on the error. Here's Kyle Jackson, the 9th hitter in the inning. So he looks at this one upstairs for a ball. So the Pirates have batted around the lineup here already with 5 runs in the inning. Came into the inning trailing 2-0, now lead 5-0. Definitely a good inning for the Pirates. Here's the pitch. High and tight. And Jackson had to basically jump out of the way. Quackenbush seeming to lose a little bit of his control now, as it's now a 3-ball count, 3-0 to be exact here to Kyle Jackson. Working out of the stretch is Quackenbush. He comes set, checks the runner at second, nobody holding, and this one's nowhere near the zone, and that'll be ball 4. 4-pitch walk drawn by Kyle Jackson, and we have not only hit all the way around the lineup, but now have the 10th batter in the inning set to come up. The man who started it all, Anthony Virgin, way back at the beginning of this inning, singled into left field, and he wound up advancing the second on a wild pitch, stole third. Yes, he stole third base, and the catcher could do nothing but look. I mean, he couldn't even make the play down in third base because he stole it off the pitcher Quackenbush, who now will head to his dugout and be replaced by a new pitcher here for Lake Havasu. The new pitcher for Lake Havasu is going to be Zach Wallner from the University of Sioux Falls. 6'2", 205-pound right-handed hitter. So Zach Wallner comes in to replace Quackenbush, as he will take his customary 8 warm-up pitches here for the Lake Havasu Fire. We'll just kind of recap if you just joined us, or if you may have forgotten even, because this bottom half of the 4th inning has been long, but really actually the inning in general has been sort of a long inning. But as we were starting to tell you, Anthony Virgin singled. He advanced to second on the wild pitch. He stole third, which we were just mentioning, off Quackenbush, and it was an uncontested play down there to third base. And then he ended up scoring on an RBI double by Nolan Henley. Also, before Nolan Henley hit the RBI double, Justin Gomez walked, and he was brought in by an RBI groundout by Nick Marshall. So that was the second run scored of the inning. Then the third run of the inning was scored on the fly ball hit by Troy Resch down the left field line that the left fielder Moore was in hot pursuit of, and looked like he finally got underneath it. In fact, he did, but couldn't make up the grab. And so it was an error on the left fielder, and scoring on the play was Nolan Henley. Resch wound it up on second after that, and then he ended up scoring as well on an RBI single by Channing Varela. And on that same hit, which went up the middle, and it was really a screaming line drive up the middle by Channing Varela, Johnny Reynoso also scored, and that was the 5th run of the inning. Reynoso scoring after the center fielder overshot the catcher, and Johnny was actually given the brakes by his father over at third base, but then, reading the ball over the catcher's head, decided to come home and make it that 5-2 score. And here's Anthony Virgin, the man who started it all off. First pitch to Virgin from Zach Waldner, misses low and inside, ball 1. 1-0 the count. So, Lake Havasu, the Fire, drawing guys from all over the place on this team from Nevada. Fastball low and away, ball 2, 2-0 the count. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, they're all business. They came here for the 4-hour trip to play 2 today and 2 tomorrow. And they'll be heading back to Lake Havasu after the games tomorrow, which are at 10 a.m. and 1. They want to get back to Nevada as soon as possible. Although, here's the pitch. 2-0 swung on and missed. Although, when you think about the second game being at 1, that's going to be right around rush hour traffic. I don't know if they want to deal with that. If the game ends at about 4, they might have maybe preferred having a normal kind of 1 and 4 o'clock game so that they could leave at 7 and avoid the Southern California traffic. Low and away, ball 3, 3-1 the count. Anthony Virgin now with a hitter's pitch to come. Some would say the ultimate hitter's pitch is a 3-1. A lot of guys like the 2-0 as well. But Anthony Virgin, he's 1 for 1 in this game, also walked. And he will walk again, so that'll be the second walk of the game for Anthony Virgin. And the bases are now full of Pirates. On third base, you have Channing Varela, who had the RBI single up the middle. On second base, you have Kyle Jackson, who drew a walk. And on first base, you have Anthony Virgin, who just drew his second walk of the game. And now here comes Justin Gomez, 0 for 1, lined out to right field and walked. And you normally say and walked back in what inning they walked in. Well, he walked in this inning. So here he comes again, this time with the bases juiced. And this is an off-speed pitch that misses high and away. And maybe would like to make up for his first at-bat. Although we mentioned he hit it hard right down that right field line, but he left the bases loaded that first at-bat. Now he gets a chance to make up for it right here and really give the Pirates a huge lead. This one misses too, and it's 2-0. So we'll see what the Pirates do in this situation. And maybe are you going to, I mean, it's still only the 4th inning, so you probably aren't taking first strike. But a lot of the times when you bring in a relief pitcher, you want to make sure that they can throw strikes. You don't want to give them anything. You don't want to cheat yourself, but let's see what happens on this 2-0. 2-0 misses for ball 3. And just like that, I'm sure Gomez will have gotten the take from Charlie Reynoso. Definitely made eye contact with him down the third base line. But bases full of Pirates. 2 down, bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. Right down Broadway, strike 1, 3-1 the count. 11th batter in the inning. Well, if you remember last year, there was an amazing inning that the Pirates had. And the reason I bring this up is because of the number 11. There was an amazing inning against the High Desert Heat. The first inning they played, here's the pitch. And this misses low. That's ball 4. And that'll be an RBI for Gomez as a run crosses home plate. And that's Varela on the walk. So Varela, as we mentioned, scoring. Kyle Jackson moving up to 3rd. Anthony Virgin moving to 2nd. And Gomez getting the RBI walk. And that is another run here in this inning for the Inland Valley Pirates. They're 6th. So a 6-run 4th already. And here comes Nolan Henley, who has an RBI double and scored here in this inning. Here's the pitch. Fastball low, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Well, if you're coming off the bench or if you're still in the lineup in this case for the Pirates, I think you would want to probably take until he throws you a strike, unless he throws you a great pitch that you could really drive, because it's been very, very hard so far for Zach Wallner. Wallner coming set in the stretch. Here's the pitch. Just hitting the outside corner, called a strike, and it's 1-1 to Nolan Henley. Nolan Henley 1 for 2 in the game. Also flew out to left field in his first at-bat. Back in the 2nd inning. On deck is the catcher, Nick Marshall. Still with his line drive to right field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. In comes Kyle Jackson. Rounding third base and coming home to score is Anthony Virgin, and that'll be a 2-run single by Nolan Henley. So Nolan Henley now with 2 hits in the inning and 3 RBIs as the Pirates plate 2 more runs. And this has been a wild inning, to say the very least, as the Pirates continue to pile it on here in the 4th. So now 8 runs in the inning. And the 13th hitter in the inning as well, set to come up. That's Nick Marshall. He's 0 for 2. Did have an RBI groundout in this inning, though. Here's the pitch. Fastball called to strike on the outside corner, and he kind of grits his teeth and doesn't like it. In fact, he's going to do a double take over towards the home plate umpire and ask him where that kind of was. But home plate umpire just trying to give some help to Zach Wallner at this point. Here's the pitch. Called strike 2, 0-2 the count. And once again, I'm not exactly sure if Nick Marshall liked that call as he steps out of the batter's box and now comes back in. 0-2 the count. Well, it's a lot easier as a pitcher when you get ahead 0-2 as opposed to falling behind 3-0. And we'll see what Zach Wallner has for Nick Marshall right here. No, this one's low and away. Ball 1, 1-2 the count. Well, we had just mentioned the number 11 because we said that there was that inning where the Pirates had 11 consecutive base hits against the High Desert Heat. That was why we thought about that and wanted to mention it. It was unbelievable. The very first inning of the second game in the doubleheader, just demoralizing the Heat, who was a former league foe in the SCCBL for the Pirates. The last pitch missed low as well, and it's 2-2. 2 men on, 2 outs, bottom of the 4th inning. High fly ball fell and out of play. And we'll do it again. Another 2-2 pitch to come here to Nick Marshall. Pirates definitely getting their money's worth here in the 4th inning, and what has turned out to be a marathon 4th at that. Here's the pitch. Line drive in the left field. Will that get down? Yes, it gets down for a base hit. And being held over there at third base is Gomez. So the bases are now loaded here for the Pirates in the 4th inning. So Gomez, he's on third. Gomez had the RBI walk in the inning and actually walked another time and scored in this inning as well. Henley, he's on second base. Henley has a single, a double, a run scored and 3 RBIs in this inning. And Nick Marshall, he's on first. He has the single and also had an RBI groundout in this inning. We're just talking about this inning as another hitter comes to the plate, and that's Troy Resch, who had the fly ball down the left field line. And you'd say that he got the RBI on that fly ball because it would have been a sac fly. Ground ball right side. He may have broken his bat. And this will be an easy play over there for the second baseman, Rhea, who will throw to first. And finally, in the inning, as I think somebody sarcastically from the Pirates dugout said, he gone. But wow, what an inning for the Pirates. Can't say enough about that inning. 8 runs scored. And it is now 8-2 at the end of 4. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
You spin my head right round when you go down, when you go down, down.
You spin my head right around when you go down, when you go down.
I got the house with my swagger, hop in that window, I got places to go. People to see, time is precious, I look at my Cartier out of control. Just like my mind where I'm going, the women, the shorties know nothing but clothes. No stopping at my Pirelli's on roll, unlike my jewelry that's always on roll. I know the storm is coming, my pockets keep telling me it's gonna shower. Call up my homies, it's on and popping the night cause it's meant to be ours. We keep a fadeaway shot cause we ballin' this platinum Patron every hour. Look mama, ow, you just like the flowers. Girl, you the truth with all that goody powers. You spin my head right round when you go down, when you go down, down.
You spin my head right around when you go down, when you go down.
From the top of the pool, I watch her go down. She got me throwing my money around. Ain't nothing more beautiful to be found. It's going down, down. From the top of the pool, I watch her go down. She got me throwing my money around. Ain't nothing more beautiful to be found. It's going down, down. Shawty must know I'm the man. My money lover like a number 1 fan. Don't open my mouth, let her talk to my fans. My Benjamin Franklin's. A couple of grands, I got rubber bands. My paper planes making a dance. Get dirty all night, that's part of my plan. We building castles that's made out of sand. She's amazing, fire blazing, hotter than Cajun. Girl, won't you move a little closer? Time to get paid, it's maximum wage. That body belong on a poster.
To the top of 5 we go. 8-2 the score after quite eventful 4th inning for the Pirates. All 8 runs they've scored came in that 4th inning. To sum it up would almost be crazy. Here comes the first pitch that misses low and away for ball 1 from Nicholas Sergi. 5'10", 160-pound left-handed pitcher who played for Citrus College the past couple of years. Actually, that's not him. Take that back, I'm sorry. Ground ball foul. The reason it's a little bit hard to figure it out is they don't have the uniforms on. So this is a pitcher who pitched from Orange Coast College. I'll try to get that settled for you as soon as I can figure out exactly who it may be. Leg kick, and here's the pitch. And this one misses inside for a ball. So the book you can close on Brett Early now. 4 innings, as this one misses high and away. 3 hits allowed, 2 runs. I know at least one of them was unearned. Obviously, we'll figure that out after the game, but I'm sure that the one came in on an error by the center fielder, Henley. And the other run, here's the pitch. And this one, oh, it's called a strike on the outside corner, and that'll be strike 2 to Alex White, so it's now a full count. White, the leadoff hitter in the lineup for the Fire. And then you have Rhea and Roshan. Southpaw, peering in at his signs and likes what he sees. Here's the pitch. Oh, plunks the hitter. And so that'll be the first hit batter of the day. Pitcher is Mattis for the Pirates. As we mentioned, it's a little bit tough because I guess there was a mix-up with the uniforms. So we have guys wearing all different shirts. I mean, some of the Pirates from last season, which is the second baseman, the shortstop, and the third, you'll see in their Pirates uniforms, as this one's called the strike. But it's Andrew Mattis, 5'11", 160 pounds, left-handed pitcher from Mount Sac. But it does look like he's actually wearing a Pirates shirt on. Here's the pitch. High and away for a ball. His past season at Mount Sac, 19 appearances, 31 2/3 innings pitched, a 1.71 ERA, 25 strikeouts. So he was very, very successful. Also 6 saves as a freshman. Those accolades ended up being second team All-South Coast Conference for him, as the home plate umpire will head over towards the third base dugout and head right back as the catcher wanted to maybe work together some of the signals. You know, a lot of these guys, especially the pitchers and catchers, haven't played together, so it'll take a little bit of an adjustment to get used to some of the new pitchers that they see. Here's the pitch from Mattis. Fastball, outside corner, called a strike. Oh. Mattis' hometown is Chino, went to Don Lugo High School. And here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. That'll be strike 2. Well, warm day here in Cal Poly Pomona, which is definitely a thing that you should get used to, especially if you're coming to these games at Scalinos Field, because heat is the norm here, I would say in the Inland Empire in general, but especially here at Cal Poly Pomona. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and down goes Rhea, and that'll be the first out here in the 5th inning for Andrew Mattis. Here comes the number 3 spot in the lineup. That's Connor Rashawn. He's 0 for 2, struck out looking in the first inning, and grounded out to the third baseman back in the third. Line drive into right field, and that'll drop for a base hit. So there's now 2 men on base here for Lake Havasu in the top of the 5th inning, as the right fielder Kyle Jackson hitting his cutoff man in the chest. That, of course, is Nellis, the shortstop. Well, it looks like everybody out there is still the same in terms of the defense as far as I can see. The only change, as we mentioned, is the pitcher. But as we mentioned, maybe at the beginning of the 4th inning, which now was a long time ago, we'll see some widespread changes over the next inning or so, as this one is called the strike, and it's 0-1 here to Brandon Vaquizzo. Vaquizzo's 0 for 1, struck out looking in the third, and walked back in the 2nd inning. Here's the pitch. High fly ball, foul behind the screen, and out of play. And this will be a 2-strike count here for Mattis. Mattis checks the runner at second. Nobody holding on. And he's taking a long stare over there before finally coming home. Fastball misses high and away for a ball. And Nick Marshall, he's done a really good job behind home plate so far for the first 4 1/3 innings. Pretty much nothing getting past him at all. You have a lot to live up to. If we're talking about Christian Kelly, who was the catcher from last season, who just was an absolute stud behind home plate. Here's the pitch, breaking pitch in the dirt. Just as I say that, the ball gets away from him. He throws it down to second base, and oh, that was a nice throw, but the runner sliding into it jiggled it out of Varela's glove. Meanwhile, at third base, the runner comes home and scores. That is Alex White, and it's now 8-3. As it looked like the play was going to be made by Marshall there, So you got a pass ball is what you'll end up calling that on Marshall. And then a throwing error. Checks his swing. Foul tipped, actually, but it's not going to matter because it went into the glove of Marshall, and that'll be strike 3. So Vaquizzo is retired for the second time of the day via the strikeout, and that'll be the second out of the inning as Tyler Scully comes to the plate. 0 for 2, grounded into a double play in the second, and struck out looking in the fourth. Mattis. Here's the pitch. This one misses low, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Tyler Scully. Tyler Scully, 6'1", 270 from Friends University. Here's the pitch. Line drive, left side, one hopper over to Johnny Reynoso. He holds the runner, but now the runner's going to go over to third anyways, but it's not really going to matter because that's the third out of the inning. But 5-3 on the putout if you're scoring at home, and we are halfway through this game now. Lake Havasu's actually scored a run in the last 3 innings, each of the last 3 innings, but they trail 8-3 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
Baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise. I got my windows down in the radio. Get your radio on. What up, Nelly? Alright. I got my windows down in the radio. Get your radio on. Yeah, when I first saw that bikini top on her, she's popping right out of the South Georgia water. Don't know Lord, she had them long tail legs, couldn't help myself, so I walked up and said, baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise down the back road, throwing stop signs for the middle of every little farm town. With you in this brand new Chevy with a lift kit, I look a hell lot better with you up in it. Baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise. I got my windows down in the radio. Get your radio on. Yeah, she was sipping on Southern and singing Marshall Tucker. We were falling in love in the sweetheart of summer. She hopped right up into the cab of my truck and said, fire it up, let's go get this thing stuck. Baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise down the back road, throwing stop signs for the middle of every little farm town. With you in this brand new Chevy with a lift kit, I look a hell lot better with you up in it. Baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down.
Well, you can end the speculation about potentially going to the bench here in the 5th inning. It looks like it's going to be the same lineup here for the 5th inning. The only reason I said that and thought maybe that they would change early is because the starting lineup has already gotten 3 at-bats. But this one's called a strike, and it's 0-1 here to Jeff Nellis. Jeff Nellis is 0 for 3 on the day. Flew out to left field and grounded out twice. Here's the 0-1, ground ball right side, and that's through the hole for a base hit. So Nellis gets his first base hit here with the Pirates in the 5th inning. And up comes Johnny Reynoso. So you look at the lineup and you see 8 runs on the board, and you know that 14 guys came up to bat in the last inning. But believe it or not, actually the first batter and the second batter of the lineup up until now didn't have a hit. Although Reynoso did walk and score, but that was Jeff Nellis's first hit of the season. And here comes Johnny Reynoso looking to maybe rip one himself. On deck, Channing Varela. Of course, Johnny Reynoso has played all 3 seasons here for the Pirates, and his father, the manager, Charlie. This one paints the outside, called strike 1, 0-1 the count. Johnny Reynoso was an all-star last season in the SCCBL. Have a number of returning all-stars for the Pirates, about 4, as he checks his swing, but it's not going to matter. It's called a strike, and it's 0-2. We've seen Kyle Jackson. He is a returning All-Star, as well as Anthony Virgin and Johnny Reynoso. And Andrew Alvarez will be rejoining the team a little bit later on in the summer, from what I understand. He's got a few classes that he needs to finish down there in Houston. He, of course, plays for Houston Baptist. Swung on and missed, strike 3, so down goes Reynoso. And Reynoso is now 0 for 3 on the day, as Channing Varela and Reynoso had a little bit of a conversation as he heads back to the bench. Here is Channing Varela. Varela 2 for 3 on the day. Couple singles, an RBI, and a run scored for number 2. Hometown Chino, went to Chino High School. Started his collegiate career at Riverside City before finding a home at Orange Coast College. Takes this one low for ball 1, 1-0 the count last season. And of course, we mentioned at Orange Coast College, being part of that state championship team. Had a couple guys from Orange Coast College on our team last season. We just mentioned Andrew Alvarez. This is a 58-footer in the dirt. Nice block made by the catcher, Carballo. And we looked at it, and it was like you were thinking maybe there's a little bit of a pipeline that goes from Orange Coast College to Houston Baptist, because both of our players that played from Orange Coast College last season ended up going to Houston Baptist. And Houston Baptist had 2 other players from there. Line drive up the middle, base hit, Channing Varela. Putting on the brakes at second base, and putting on the brakes hard was Jeff Nellis. So now there's 2 base hits here in the inning with 1 out. Bottom of 5. 8-3 the score. It's interesting because we mentioned at the end of the last inning, believe it or not, Lake Havasu has actually scored 1 run in each of the last 3 innings. But that gets erased when you have an 8-run fourth and send up 14 hitters to the plate. Here's the cleanup hitter, Kyle Jackson. Jackson 1 for 2, single and a walk. Fouls the first pitch he sees down the first base line, off that screen over there down the first base line. As the ball comes back to home plate. Kyle Jackson, as we mentioned, is one of the returning All-Stars for the Inland Valley Pirates, but he was the All-Star in 2013, not 14, as this one misses low, 1-1 the count to Jackson. Jackson, a bit of a utility player, seen him in a lot of different positions, both in the field and even in terms of lineup spots, but another guy who came on very strong towards the middle and end of last season. So the 6'1", 205 right-handed hitter bounces this one. Two-hopper over towards the second baseman. He bobbles it, and ooh, he's called out very, very close. Play over there at first base as the second baseman, Rhea, looked over at second for a second, trying to maybe get the force there and try to attempt to turn 2, then decided to go to first, and as he was transitioning it, bobbled it for a second, but still made the play, as that'll be the second out here in the 5th inning. The runners both advancing into scoring position. That, of course, is Nellis at third and Varela at second. Meanwhile, Anthony Virgin is up at the plate. Swings and misses at the first pitch he sees, and it's 0-1 to Virgin. Virgin, he's reached base all 3 times, walked twice, and singled once. Also has scored a couple runs and stolen a bag. He didn't just steal any bag, by the way. He stole third, as this one misses low and inside. Breaking pitch for a ball. On deck is Gomez. So Gomez actually has the leg protectors on, so it looks like he'll be transitioning from first to catcher. Ground ball left side. Two-hopper hard to handle for the third baseman, and he can't. So that'll be E5 on Amendola as a run comes home to score. And Anthony Virgin reaches base yet again. So 4 plate appearances and 4 times reaching base for number 43 in the red. 9-3 the score now on that last run, as Jeff Nellis came in to score, and Channing Varela is now at third. Pitch called a strike, and it's 0-1 to Justin Gomez. Gomez 0 for 1. Has a couple walks, a run scored, and an RBI. And if you're wondering how he had an RBI, it was because he walked with the bases loaded. Sometimes that's a good thing to do. Here's the pitch. As it's a towering fly ball slicing down the left field line. On his horse is the left fielder who tried to make a diving catch, but Moore was not able to get there in time. I'm not sure what's down that third base line. I can't really see it. It looks like a white tubing type of thing that if that wasn't there, he might have been able to make the play, because the ball actually did land in the field of play. It wasn't out of play, but it still would have been a ridiculously hard and unbelievable play had he gotten there. Dangling his arm down, and now coming set in the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swung on another slicing fly ball down the left field line, and the left fielder, Moore, has it under control and makes the play. You know that any time that you have that left-handed hitter who hits it down the left field line, it always slices towards the foul line. So that's why it sliced like that a couple times in a row. But Lake Havasu gets out of the inning here after that fly ball out to left field. But another run scored for the Pirates, and it's now 9-3 and a 5. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
Mixtapes got a little Hank, little Drake, a little something bumping, thumping on the wheel, right? The mix in our drinks a little stronger than you think, so get a grip, take a sip of that feel, right? Trucks jacked up, flat bills flip back. Yeah, you can find us where the party's at. This is how we roll. We hanging around, singing and everything on the radio. We light it up with our hands up. This is how we roll. This is how we do. We burning down the night, shooting bullets at the moon, baby. This is how we roll. Yeah, baby, this is how we roll. We rolling into town with nothing else to do. We take another.
And welcome back as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Here's the pitch from Andrew Mattis. Swung on and lined down the first base line and foul towards the first base coach, who tried to make the barehanded grab but kind of olayed it. As Jose Carballo is at the plate. He's 1 for 2, singled in the second and grounded out in the 4th to the second baseman, Varela. Here's the pitch. And it just misses on an off-speed pitch for a ball. 1-1 the count. As we mentioned, Gomez is now the catcher. Here's the pitch, and this one misses outside for 2-1, ball 2. So it's 2-1 to number 2-1 here on Lake Havasu. So Gomez coming in to replace Nick Marshall behind home plate. Here's the pitch, and nowhere near the zone, out of the reach of Gomez, and it's 3-1. Down the first baseline is a guy wearing a Citrus college shirt, so I'm going to take a guess as to that being, maybe it's, as this one misses high and away, that might be Troy Resch, as this is a 5-pitch walk here drawn by Jose Carballo. Fastball high for a ball, and time is called for by Gomez. So, bit of a lengthy game here for the first game of a doubleheader. Already an hour and 50 minutes in and just starting the 6th inning. As we mentioned, normally the pace of the summer collegiate games are about 2.5 hours, as you've got lefty on lefty action here. Fastball high and away for a ball to Tyler DeGant, the designated hitter. Tyler DeGant 0 for 1, grounded out to the second baseman, then walked and scored back in the 4th inning. Mattis comes set, working out of the stretch. Slender lead off first base for the runner, as this one comes in low and away for a ball. So Mattis struggling to find the zone a little bit here in this inning, as it's now 3-0, and he also walked Jose Carballo on a 5-pitch walk. So a little bit of a struggle here in the 6th. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there, right down the middle for called strike 1. It's now 3-1. It's interesting to see what we mentioned as this, a little bit earlier, but what do you do when you have a new pitcher and he starts throwing a lot of balls? Do you just take first strike, especially when you're losing? As this will be another 5-pitch walk drawn, the 2nd in a row here for Lake Havasu. And it looks like we're going to get a pitching, maybe just a discussion from the manager, Charlie Reynoso, but he's actually looking down towards the bullpen, down that first base line. And we also have another coach, I believe that's Alex Espinosa, heading over to the bullpen to see if somebody might be ready. They might just be buying somebody time as Charlie tries to settle down Andrew a little bit and tell him basically, you're just okay. You can get out of this. We got a great defense behind you and a big lead, 9-3 the score if you're just joining us. Of course, if you are just joining us, you missed a ridiculous 4th inning where the Pirates sent up 14 hitters and plated 8 runs and had guys who had multiple hits in that same inning, including Nolan Henley, who had a double, a single, a run scored, and 3 RBIs all in that one inning. Mattis checks the runner at second, no one holding on. Fastball, painting the black of the outside corner, and it's called a strike. So whatever Charlie told him, it works pretty well right there for the first pitch here to Brandon Amendolara. Amendolara, this is his 3rd plate appearance, but no official at bat yet. Previous 2 times walked and did score 1 run as well for the Fire. Checking down at second again is Mattis and firing home. Breaking pitch in the dirt. Nice job behind home plate by Gomez to block that ball to ensure that the runners couldn't advance 90 feet. Obviously, even though you're up by 6 runs, you still want to play fundamental baseball and you want to hold the guys on, and you want to make sure that the Fire can't potentially get back into the game by having a ball get by you and then having 2 runners in scoring position as opposed to 1. Here's the pitch from Mattis. Line drive in the center field straight at Nolan Henley. He catches it on the 1 hop, and they're going to hold the runners at third. So station to station, the Fire go, and the bases are now full of men in black. And it'll be interesting to see if Charlie decides to go to the pen, as we have definitely somebody warming up down there in the first base pen, and definitely a message or being sent out by Alex Espinosa, but still Andrew Mattis will stay in the game with the bases loaded and no outs here in the 6th inning. Slow off-speed pitch that can't curve over the plate. Misses for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Not sure if you can see it on your stream, but it looks like there's almost like smoke coming out in center field, which probably not a laughing matter, probably not a good thing, but there's a cloud of black in center field. Of course, this is a large field. Don't see too many home runs hit out of here, especially with wooden bats. And last year it was sort of almost referred to as a hitter's graveyard, as this one misses low for a ball. But all of a sudden, about the last couple weeks of the season, something happened. And by the way, it is 3-0 right here with the bases loaded. So very, very tough position and situation for Mattis. Got to think that you're taking all the way here if you're the Fire. And this is nowhere near the zone. And that'll be ball 4. And so a bases loaded walk drawn, and this will get Mattis the hook as Charlie Reynoso is heading back to the pitcher's mound. And he tried to let him work out of it, but has seen enough now as it's now 9-4, and the home plate umpire is making it official that we will get a new relief pitcher here for the Pirates. It'll be a right-handed pitcher who will meet Charlie Reynoso and Justin Gomez on the mound. So tough fifth inning for Mattis, who walked 3 hitters in the inning and also gave up the single in the middle of all that. And so 1 run in here for the Fire in this inning, and still no outs, as we'll have our pitcher warm up and step away for just a few moments. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
Guns. We love who we love and we wanna have fun, yeah. We cuss on them Mondays and pray on them Sundays. Pass it around and we dream about one day, 'cause this is how we roll.
Well, we're going to get a Brett Early interview later on today. He was petitioning for the pitching victory. Of course, this game is not even close to being over yet. It's still the top of the 6th inning, and 9-4 the score. Here's the pitch from Andrew Eppenbach, and it's in there for called strike 1, 0-1 the count. So this is the first time we get to see Eppenbach this season. The right-handed pitcher, 6'2", 180 pounds, inheriting a bases-loaded, no-outs jam. As this one misses inside, and it's 1-1 here to the leadoff hitter in the lineup for Lake Havasu. That's Alex White. So we mentioned 1 run in each inning, as this one is a wild pitch that gets by the catcher, and in comes another run, and it's now 9-5. So Lake Havasu continues to chip away at the lead. They've scored at least 1 run in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and now here in the 6th. They have a couple runs. This one comes in on the wild pitch, charged to Mattis. In fact, there's still 2 base runners out there that'll be charged to Mattis. So obviously, he's a big fan of Eppenbach to try to get them retired. Ground ball right side, that's going to score another run and make it 9-6, but Varela retires Alex White at first base. It'll be an RBI ground out for him, and it's now 9-6. So 4-3 on the RBI if you're scoring at home, and the runner Ty Moore advanced from second 90 feet up to third base, and so another runner now 90 feet away from making an even closer margin, as moments ago it looked like this game was out of hand, and all of a sudden 3 runs scored here in the top of the 6th inning, as this one swung and foul behind home plate and out of play by Butch Rhea. Rhea, he's 1 for 3 on the day, singled in the 3rd, flew out in the 1st, and struck out his last at-bat in the 5th inning. Well, the Fire trying to scratch and claw their way back in this game. Another man just 90 feet away from making it even closer, as this one misses low and away for a ball from Eppenbach. Eppenbach played for Orange Coast College this past season. Very limited playing time. Only 7 innings pitched. but originally committed to San Diego State out of high school. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed by Butch Rhea. Another thing to think about, actually, as we're moving through this game, and the count is 0-2. Something that we might think about a little bit is it's still only the top of the 6th inning. Ground ball, left side. 3-hopper over towards the shortstop, who makes a sidearm play but can't get it there on time. So that'll be an infield base hit here for Butch Rhea, his second single of the day. Staying put on the play was Ty Moore at third base because the shortstop Jeff Nellis was so close to him, I guess, that he decided that wasn't worth it trying to risk going home, because Nellis could have had him dead to rights had he gone home. And here is the number 3 hitter in the lineup, Connor Rashawn. Here's the pitch. This one misses outside for a ball. So 9-6 the score. Top of the 6th inning. Pirates hoping to get out of the jam. Runners in the corners. Snap throw down to first, not in time. As Rashawn, if he tries that again, might want to run out of the way. The catcher very close to Rashawn. Not sure if you saw it, but a few weeks back, maybe a month back in the minors, the catcher actually threw it directly at the hitter, which was something I had never seen before. This one misses outside, and it's a 3-ball count. 3-0 the count. No wind to speak of, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast. Maybe just a little tiny breeze, but not really anything that would affect play. 4-pitch walk drawn, and the bases are full of fire yet again. So the tying run, he's on first base, and the go-ahead run at the dish. Still only the top of the 6th. This is talk like it's closer to the end of the game, but just kind of giving you some semblance of awareness of what's going on out there on the field right now. Because, in fact, hopefully you stayed with us, because you might have thought it was over after that 8-run inning for the Pirates. But the Fire is trying to come back, come all the way back, as this one is fouled out of play down the first base line. 0-1 the count here to Brandon Urquizo. 9-6, 1 out, top of the 6th inning. Here's the pitch. Called strike 2. This one on the inside corner for Andrew Eppenbach. Andrew Eppenbach, his hometown is Claremont. Went to Bishop Amat, where he was an all-league selection. Had a 1.66 ERA's senior year of high school. Ooh, a wicked pitch that just gets by the catcher. And the runners won't be able to advance here, as Gomez quickly and alertly got to it before the runner on third base, Ty Moore, could take advantage of it. The big thing here for the Pirates, as the corner infielders are in, middle infielders playing a double play type of death, ground ball foul behind home plate, is you want to get the sure out. You're still nursing a 3-run lead, so if you can turn 2, that would be great, but if you want to just get a force out somewhere, you'd hope to go at home if you're the corner infielders. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, and that's going to be over the head of Johnny Reynoso. We said he was in. Here comes 1 run, and now another run comes in to score, and it's now 9-8. So just like that, the Fire are 1 run away from tying this game up. And that 1 run, he stands on second base in scoring position. Ty Moore coming home to score, as well as Butch Rhea on the 2-run single by Brandon Urquizo. And here's Tyler Scully. This is the 9th hitter in the lineup, or the 9th hitter in this inning, I should say. So they've batted around the lineup. Line drive to right field. Coming in is the right fielder, Kyle Jackson, and he's going to double him up at second base. Jackson was playing very shallow and had a great read on it and alertly made the play to second. It looked like he got the guy over at first off even further, but he got the lead runner at second on a double play. to end the inning. So sort of your unconventional double play to end an inning, but the Pirates get out of the jam. They are now leading by only 1 run. They were leading by 6 heading into this inning, and now it is 9-8 as we head to the bottom of 6. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
Give up forever to touch you, 'cause I know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest to heaven that I'll ever be, and I don't wanna go home right now. And all I can taste is this pain, and all I can breathe is your light. Sooner or later it's over. I just don't want to miss you. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's meant to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. And you can't fight the tears that ain't coming, or the moment of truth in your lies. When everything feels like the movies, yeah, you bleed just to know you're alive. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want.
Welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning in a 9-8 ball game. First pitch misses inside to Nolan Henley. Very unconventional game for the Pirates. If you're a Pirate fan over the last 3 seasons, most of their games are predicated upon great pitching and defense and low-scoring games. But this one, anything but that. 9-8 the score, bottom of 6. So we still have a lot of frames left to play. And this game that we mentioned back in the last inning, at one point seemed like there was no doubt, is now a 1-run game. Pirates clinging to a 1-run lead. We'll have to go right back to work here in the 6th inning as Nolan Henley comes to the plate. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, foul, and out of play behind home plate for Nolan. Well, Nolan Henley, he's 2 for 3, but if you recall, he had a double, a single, 3 RBIs, and 1 run scored in the 4th inning, where the Pirates sent up 14 men to the plate and scored 8 runs. But those 8 runs they needed, because it's 9-8 now. Ground ball, left side, that's going to get over the head of the third baseman and through the hole for a single for Nolan Henley. So Nolan, 3 for 4 on the day. Great start to the season for him. A guy who actually hit one of the few home runs we saw out of here last season, but struggled a little bit with the bat. And here comes a left-handed hitter. Actually, no, sorry. That was Troy Resch picking up the bat. He's on deck. Nick Marshall remains in the game to hit. Nick Marshall was actually not catching anymore, but I guess he may have gone into the DH position, or so to speak, as he remains in the lineup to hit. Low and away, ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Nick Marshall. As we mentioned, Nick Marshall, a D1 player from Texas Tech. He'll be a senior there next year. Several D1 players on this Pirate team this season. Squaring around and bringing it back is Marshall, as we may have had a play on, as Charlie Reynoso down the third base line is signaling something and looking intently over at first base. And Nolan Henley, who we mentioned has a lot of speed, very speedy outfielder, guy that you would definitely think the steal would possibly be on with him, or maybe even a hit and run. But he's not going to go here. And this pitch misses up and away for a ball. Well, the Pirates actually, speaking of stealing bases, other than that one Anthony Virgin steal of third base, they haven't attempted to steal a base here, and that's not typically something that Charlie Reynoso does. And I'm not sure if that's just part of his strategy that he doesn't think he needs to do that, or if he doesn't like running, because a lot of times you'll run into outs and you'll run yourself out of innings. This one misses high and away, and that'll be ball 4. Nick Marshall draws the walk, and now we've got first and second here, bottom of the 6th inning. And time called for by the coach from the Fire. We will see if he will take the ball from Zach Wallner. Zach Wallner, his day is done, as he will head back down to the third base line, and it looks like a left-handed pitcher will come in to replace him here in the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll step away for a few seconds and find out who the pitcher is. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back. It's the bottom of the 6th inning. 9-8 the score. Pirates on top of the Fire. Fire making the trip from Nevada, as we mentioned, a 4-hour trip to play 4 baseball games in about 24 hours. So that'll be very interesting for them. Pickoff throw down at second base, and almost had Nolan Henley not paying attention. It's always something that you got to do. You got to be on your toes, regardless of if you're at second base or first. And Troy Resch is at the plate, and he's squaring around early, and he takes strike 1, 0-1 the count, on a breaking pitch that basically slid from the right side of the plate all the way across the left side. Not sure if Troy likes the call. He's kind of laughing and talking it over with the home plate umpire. On first base is Nick Marshall. Well, he started at catcher, and now he's a DH here for the Pirates. He's at first base after a walk. Standing on second base is Nolan Henley, who heads back to the base after the pitcher bluffs over there to second base. Troy Resch awaiting. Here's the pitch. Line drive, left center field, and that'll get down for a base hit. Rounding third and being held up is Nolan Henley, so the Pirates will go station to station, and the bases are now full for Jeff Nellis. So back to the top of the lineup we go. And the shortstop, Jeff Nellis, he was 0 for 3 before getting a single and scoring a run back in the 5th inning. And here comes Johnny Reynoso on deck, so 1 for 4 for the day. As we mentioned before his at-bat, in that last inning, surprisingly, there were 9 runs on the board, and the first 2 hitters hadn't had a hit. But obviously that's out of the books now because Nellis did have a hit in his last at-bat and is standing in there ready to do more damage with the bases loaded, high and away. Ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Jeff. Jeff Nellis. He originally committed to Iowa going back a couple years ago, but the coach was fired, as this one's a slugger in there for a called strike, 1-1. So then he changed his commitment to Nevada, played there sparingly before coming to Orange Coast College, where we mentioned he won a state championship and was a first-team all-conference selection. Ground ball left side. That's going to be a ground ball to the third baseman, and he comes home and gets the force. So Nolan Henley is retired, and that'll be a fielder's choice as Nellis reaches safely on that fielder's choice. So 5-2 if you're scoring at home. And the bases are still loaded here for the Pirates, with now 1 out in the 6th inning. Dangling his arm down is the southpaw, who comes set, working out of the stretch, and fires to Reynoso. Reynoso fouls it out of play down the third base line. 0-1 the count to Johnny. Johnny 0 for 3. Ground out, fly out, strike out, and a walk here in this game. Here's the pitch. Low and away, and that's going to get by the catcher. And speaking of catchers, Nick Marshall on his horse and comes home to score on the wild pitch. So it's now 10-8 as Nick Marshall scores on the wild pitch. Trey Resch moves into third, and Jeff Nellis moves to second. So it's still 2 runners in scoring position here for Johnny, who, as we mentioned, last season seemed like he was always in the middle of a Pirates rally, hoping to maybe be the centerpiece of another rally here in the 6th inning. Pirates now with that 2-run lead. Fly ball, foul, and slicing down the left field line and into the bullpen over there down the third base line, where Zach Wallner, pitcher, who just was pulled out of the game, is kind of hanging out. Late kicking here is the pitch. Swung on and fouled, I believe, off his shin. So Johnny Reynoso will have to protect the plate with a 2-strike pitch to come here. And a 10-8 lead with 1 out here in the 6th inning. Situational hitting right here would be to hit a ground ball to the right side, although if you look at it, actually the infield is playing in, even the middle infielders playing in here. Fly ball to left field, that's another situation that you would like, a fly ball to the outfield to get a sac fly. The throw is airmailed down the first base line, and Resch comes in to score, so that would be an RBI credited to Johnny Reynoso on the sac fly over there to left field. Now 11-8 is the score, as Resch came in and Nellis advanced to third base. And here comes Channing Varela. Channing Varela, 3 for 4, and an RBI and a run scored. Would love to double up and get another RBI here. Swings and misses over the top of this breaking pitch, and it's 0-1 to Channing Varela. Well, Varela, as we mentioned, doing a lot of damage with his bat from the middle to the end of last season. Was really one of the better hitters by the end of the season, as this breaking pitch, backdoor variety, misses low and away for a ball. Finished with the .275 batting clip last year for the Pirates, but really came strong, as we were talking about, and was hitting right in like the number 2 spot in the lineup during the playoffs. Line drive up the middle, but it's a soft liner hit right at the shortstop, who has it under control. That's White, who makes the grab right behind second base by about 3 or 4 feet, and the side is retired. But the Pirates do tack on 2 more runs, I should say, here, and add to that 9 that they had originally, and now it's 11-8 score at the end of 6. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
Could you whisper in my ear the things you wanna feel? I'll give you anything to feel it coming. Do you wake up on your own? I wonder where you are, live with all your faults. I wanna wake up where you are. I won't say anything at all, so why don't you smile? Don't you love the life you kill? The priest is on the phone. Your father hit the wall. Your mom disowned you. Don't suppose I'll ever know. So means to be a man. Something I can just change and live around here. I wanna wake up where you are. I won't say anything at all. So why don't you slide? And I'll do anything you ever dreamed to be complete. Little pieces of the nothing that fall.
And welcome back as we head to the top of the 7th inning. 11-8 the score. Called strike there from Eppenbach to the hitter. Jose Carballo, the catcher, left-handed hitter for the Havasu Fire. Fouls this one out of play behind home plate. Well, it's been an interesting game to say the least for a first game of the season. 11-8 the score, top of the 7th inning. 19 combined hits. Line drive in the left field coming in and making the grab is the left fielder Virgin over there. Tyler Urbach is now the third baseman, so he comes in to replace Johnny Reynoso. Otherwise, actually, we have, it looks like they're just kind of trading around over at first base now, as Nick Marshall is actually at first base. Middle infielders remain the same. Gomez remains behind home plate, and Virgin still in left field. Looks like it's also Nolan Henley in center. Here's the pitch. Kyle Jackson in right. So actually fouled ball behind home plate. Actually not that many changes here today, which is surprising. But I guess maybe the decision was we'll give most of the team the first game and then a lot of the team the second game. Sidearm throw over the head of Eppenbach, charging is Nellis. Sidearm throw, what a play by the shortstop. Charging, fielding cleanly, transferring into his throwing hand and making that sidearm throw across the diamond to retire Tyler DeGant. And here comes number 5, Amandolare. So 2 up, 2 down here for Eppenbach here in the 7th inning, trying to settle things down for the Pirates. Pirates were ahead at 9-3 at one point. Ooh, nice pitch there, painting the black of the outside corner. And it's 0-1 here, but you felt like maybe there was almost like a false sense of security, or they kind of settled down after being ahead 9-3. Low and away, ball 1, 1-1 the count. And all of a sudden the Fire came all the way back to make it 9-8. But the Pirates, tacking on 2 more in the last inning, now lead 11-8. This one comes inside, and it's called a strike. 1-2 the count here for Eppenbach. Eppenbach's a guy that looks like you don't say it often about a righty, but he would be sort of the definition of a crafty righty. Called strike 3 on the outside corner, and he retires the side in order. But he's kind of just peppering the corners of each side and throwing sidearm, throwing 3/4 angle, and doing lots of different things that the hitters might not normally see. So that'll be be the end here at the top of the 7th. 11-8 the score. It's time to stretch at Cal Poly Pomona. Now that you've stretched, that's just the first time you're going to stretch today because this is a double header. First pitch misses away for ball 1 to Kyle Jackson, the cleanup hitter for the Pirates. Kyle Jackson, 1 for 3 today with a run scored. Takes low for a ball, 2-0. So quickly getting ahead in the count is Kyle Jackson. Jackson, very, very good player for Chaffey College over the past couple of years. Had a .291 batting average as a sophomore. Hit .370 as a freshman. Was also a Gold Glove player. So, I mean, he's got the complete package as number 10, as it's now 3-0 to him. But he's another guy who's a junior, and this summer it's really important for him to draw the attention of some scouts, as this is called the striking 3-1, to find a home for the next 2 years for his collegiate career. Line drive up the middle, right back from where it came from for a base hit for Kyle Jackson. So Kyle Jackson, leadoff hitter, on board with a single up the middle. And here comes Anthony Virgin. Virgin is 1 for 2. Singled and scored, and then walked twice and scored 1 more run. Actually has been on base all 4 times, reached on an error in his 4th plate appearance. So, as we mentioned, that's not out of the norm for Anthony. He had a .435 on base percentage last year, so this year it's 1,000 right now after 4 plate appearances. This one, off-speed pitch outside ball to Anthony Virgin. Of course, Anthony Virgin playing at Citrus College this past season. A number of Citrus College players, either currently or in the past, as we have a little pickoff throw over to first, and Kyle Jackson gets dirty. Here's the pitch. Fly ball. Towering fly ball at that into shallow right field, right down the line. And the catch is made over there by the right fielder, Rashawn, to retire Anthony Virgin. Here comes Justin Gomez. Justin Gomez, one of the new Pirates for this season. As we mentioned, headed to Azusa Pacific. Here's the pitch. Nice breaking pitch, biting really hard and in at the knees, called a strike, 0-1 the count. And as we mentioned, in that D2 West Regional, or we mentioned that he was headed to Azusa Pacific, who played in the D2 West Regional, but in that Western Regional, here's the 0-1 high for a ball, 1-1 the count. we had 17 players from the Inland Valley Baseball Association that took part in that D2 West Regional, representing Point Loma, Azusa Pacific, Cal Poly, another pickoff attempt over to first base, to no avail. And that time Kyle Jackson staying up on his feet. And Cal Baptist. Those were the 4 teams that we had players representing our program in. Low, ball 2, 2-1 the count. So that was really something to take in, and got to see the championship game actually, which was a matchup of league rivals in Cal Poly Pomona and UCSD. Cal Poly coming home with the win and going to the World Series. This is a strike called strike 2, and it's 2-2 here to Gomez. It's funny, he dangles his arm, does the pitcher, a la almost like a Heath Bell, if you remember him. He's no longer playing, but obviously was a closer for a number of years for the Padres and Marlins and a few others. As this one misses outside, 3-2 the count. Full count here to Gomez. Another pickoff throw over to first. As Kyle Jackson, he was maybe a couple feet off the bag, so not really having a big lead, but he's off with this one. Swung on and missed. Throw down to second, not in time. So Jackson's going to steal second base, almost to sort of spite the pitcher. As at the plate, Gomez, struck out, and here comes Henley. And Henley has had a great day. Henley, after flying out to left field, has had 3 consecutive base hits, a double back in the 4th, also a single in the 4th as well, and in his last at bat in the 6th, added 1 more single. So 3 for 4. He takes low for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Time called for by the catcher, Caraballo. There's a lot of players, I think, on the Pirates that as you watch the team play, you can kind of get behind them and root for them, just kind of the way they play. It's just, you know, kind of all-out playing. And Nolan Henley is definitely one of those players who he knows nothing but 110%. Here's the pitch. Called a strike on the inside. A lot of sliders and slurvy pitches that are basically starting maybe in the middle of the plate and then they come all the way across, or starting maybe even outside off the plate and then just catching the outside corner. Line drive over towards the right side, but straight at the second baseman, Rhea, who has it under control and makes the play for the final out of the 7th inning. And at the end of 7, it remains an 11-8 ball game. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we are now in the top of the 8th inning. 11-8 the score. Fastball low and away, ball 1 from Andrew Eppenbach to the hitter here, Ty Moore, 9-1-2 in the lineup is where we stand for Lake Havasu. So definitely, as this one's in there for a strike, definitely an inning where the Fire want to take advantage here. Obviously, a lot of the times you put a 9 guy in that spot because he's like an extension of the leadoff hitter. And could he turn it over to the lineup and get on base? This would be a big moment for the Fire down to their final 6 outs of the ballgame. Ooh, that was an interesting looking sidearm pitch by Eppenbach with a lot of action on it, but a ball, not exactly in the strike zone. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2, and it's 2-2 here to Ty Moore. Moore, he's 0 for 2 on the day, reached on an error back in the 4th inning. Also walked and scored in the 6th. Another breaking pitch. This one misses low for ball 4. And so, leadoff hitter, he gets on base via the walk. And I think that's it. I think that's it for Eppenbach. Charlie has seen enough. And so, he will come and get Eppenbach as he asks for the ball. And Eppenbach gets a little bit of a pat on the back. And in comes a new pitcher here for the Pirates here in the 8th inning. We'll step away for a few moments. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back. Still the top of the 8th inning as Eppenbach has been relieved by Eric Trask. Eric Trask, second year in the Inland Valley Baseball Association, first year with the Pirates, actually played for the Buccaneers last season. So he's making the move from the Bucs to the Pirates. And here's his first pitch that misses low for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to the leadoff hitter, Alex White. Alex White, he is 1 for 3 on the day, singled back in the 3rd inning. Trask is a sidearm pitcher, as you'll see. High and away, ball 2, 2-0 the count. So a hitter's pitch to take advantage of here for White. And we were talking about the number 9 hitter in the lineup, Ty Moore, being sort of an extension of a leadoff hitter, as this one is in there for a strike, 2-1 the count. And that's exactly what he did as a number 9, number 1 hitter. You're trying to find any way you possibly can to get on base, and that's exactly what Moore did. He drew a walk, and now is hoping for a rally for his team. Ground ball foul down the first base line, past the first base coach for the Fire. As we mentioned, Eric Trask playing for the Bucs last season. He was one of the better pitchers for the Buccaneers. Oh, this one hits the hitter in the head. And that is very scary. As he goes down to his hands and knees, this is Alex White. Obviously, we're hoping that he's okay. And he just didn't see it. He didn't see it from a sidearm pitch. as we're hoping it hit him in the helmet and not necessarily in the head, but he'll be checked on by his Fire coaches as well as Charlie Reynoso, the Pirates manager. And he wants to stay in the game. Wow. Well, that's a tough guy right there. He's walking down the first base line, and he's going to stay in the game after being hit in the head by pitch. Wow. Tough as nails. That's that hockey player attitude, I guess you could say, as he will kind of clear the cobwebs and he'll be okay. His first base coach checking him a little bit, but he's fine. He's going to stay in. So first and second is the situation now. No outs. Top of the 8th inning. 11-8 the score. Pirates on top of the Fire in what is yet another wild, long game. The first two this season we've had have been wild games for sure. Trask comes in with a strike and it's 0-1 here to Butch Rhea. Butch Rhea with a couple hits. He's 2 for 4. Also scored a run for the Fire. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, and it's fouled off his shin. 0-2. Well, the Fire, they definitely have that red F on the front of their jerseys. But the jerseys are black. You'd think maybe if you're the Fire, your jersey would be red, but like I mentioned, they have the F red, and the numbers are outlined in red trim. In the middle, it's the whites, the bright whites. As you can see, number 22 at the plate here, Butch Rhea for the Fire. Here's the 0-2, grounder right side, and that's going to get through the hole. No, nice glove play made by Varela, and he throws it to first, not on time, but still maybe saving a run from scoring there, as that'll be an infield base hit for Butch Rhea. And now the bases are full of Fire. So bases loaded, the tying run now standing on first base, the go-ahead run at the dish, and he is the number 3 hitter in the lineup, Connor Rashawn. Connor Rashawn digging in, left-handed hitter, open stance against Trask. Ground ball up the middle, backhanded attempt by Varela. He makes the flip to Nellis. Nellis turns 2. What a great play. 4-6-3 double play. Can't say enough about the play made by both Varela and Nellis. Varela making the backhanded grab and tossing it over to Nellis. And Nellis quickly gathering himself, firing across his body, sidearmed over to first base to get the double play. So no RBI credited to Rashawn, but a run does come home to score, and it's now 11-9. Fastball outside for a ball. 1-0 the count here after the 4-6-3 double play by against Rashawn. Swung on and fouled out of play down the first base line by Brandon Urquizo. If you remember, Brandon Urquizo's last at bat had a big 2-run single that made it a 9-8 game at the time. Here's the pitch. Right at the knees, called strike 2. 1-2 the count. So Eric Trask trying to get out of this inning without giving up another run, as the Pirates are clinging to a 2-run lead. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Took some off that. Definitely a changeup from Trask, as that'll be strike 3, and down go the Lake Havasu Fire, but they add on one more run and make it an 11-9 score as we head to the bottom of the 8th. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again? Do you ever feel so paper thin, like a house of cards, one blow from caving
And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. It'll be Nick Marshall, Troy Resch, and Jeff Nellis due up in this inning here for the Pirates. First pitch outside, ball 1 to Nick Marshall, the Texas Tech catcher, and also first baseman, as we've seen him play both positions here today. Here's the pitch. Low, ball 2, 2-0 the count. Well, we mentioned earlier, here's the pitch in there for strike 1, 2-1, that you might have a little bit of shoes to fill when you're talking about replacing Christian Kelly, the previous catcher from last year, as this one misses low for a ball, and it's 3-1. But if anybody could do it, you'd think it would be either Nick Marshall or Michael DeSegli, or maybe both of them, as this one is called strike 2. Marshall, quarter of the way down the first base path, thought he had a walk, but the home plate umpire saying not so fast, come right back here to the dish. Full count, payoff pitch to come. Here it comes. High fly ball to straightaway left field. Probably making a couple steps in is the left fielder, Moore, and he will make the grab for the first out of the inning. Here comes Troy Resch. Troy Resch started the game as the DH, but about halfway through in the 5th inning, transitioned from the DH to the first baseman. Lefty on lefty action here. Here's the first pitch. Swung on and fouled behind home plate. 0-1 the count. Troy Resch, 2 for 4, couple runs scored, and a RBI. So very, very good performance in his first game with the Pirates. Here's the pitch. High and tight. Ball 1. 1-1 the count. You got Jeff Nellis on deck. So back to the top of the lineup for the Pirates. Here's the pitch. And it's low for a ball. 2-1 the count. As we mentioned, this season, what makes this season interesting is seeing if the Pirates can take it another level to the next step, as this comes in there for strike 2, 2-2 the count. We mentioned the first season, Pirates in the SCCBL were a 500 ball club and finished in 4th place of the league. Last year, tying for the regular season championship and falling in the championship series with a 26-8 record, swung on and fouled out of play behind home plate. So really, let's see if the Pirates can really take that next step this season. This is what we wanted to see, and it hasn't been easy to dethrone the Palm Springs Power, who have won 4 consecutive and 6 overall SCCBL titles in the 8-year history of the league. Here is the pitch, and it's inside for a ball. And it's now a full count here for Troy Resch. Troy Resch and Nicholas Sergi, both from Citrus College, both headed to Cal State East Bay. Here's the pitch, swung on, fly ball, foul, but could be playable for the first baseman. No, it's over his head, and he will not be able to make the ridiculous catch down that first base line. But we noticed a lot of similarities. I mean, beyond even the fact that they're both going to Citrus College, or they went to Citrus College, I should say, and now they're headed to Cal State East Bay. But also both were all academic junior collegiate athletes with the identical 3.79 GPA. Here's the full count pitch. Swung on and lifted into shallow center field. The second baseman going back for it, but the center fielder, Mequizo, calls him off and makes the grab maybe about 5 to 10 feet away from the infield dirt. And that'll be the second out here in the 8th inning. So first 2 retired, both on fly balls. One to the left fielder, now that one to the center fielder. As Jeff Nellis comes up again. This will be Jeff Nellis' 6th plate appearance, so definitely getting his money's worth in this game. Fastball upstairs, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Nellis has reached base 3 times. Here's the pitch. Towering fly ball in the infield, called for by the third baseman in front of the shortstop White, and Amandolare makes the grab for the final out of the inning. So at the end of 8 innings, there's 3 fly balls. All the players are retired in order, and the Pirates take an 11-9 lead to the final frame. 3 outs to go here for Eric Trask, who heads back out to the mound for the Pirates. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
Little boy in a baseball hat stands in the field with his ball and bat. Says, I am the greatest player of them all. Puts his bat on his shoulder and he tosses up his ball. And the ball goes up and the ball comes down. Swings his bat all the way around. The world's so still you can hear the sound. The baseball falls to the ground. Now the little boy doesn't say a word, picks up his ball, he is undeterred. Says, I am the greatest there has ever been. And he grits his teeth and he tries it again. And the ball goes up and the ball comes down, swings his bat all the way around. The world's so still.
And welcome back. We are in the final inning. That would be the top of the 9th, as fastball misses low and away for ball 1, unless, of course, the Fire score 2 runs here in the 9th and force extra innings, although the Pirates would still have a chance in the bottom half to win the game. Here's the pitch, and it's in there for strike 1, 1-1 the count. It's Tyler Scully at the plate, the large right-handed first baseman for the Fire. Here's the pitch. Nice breaking pitch, painting the black on the outside corner, and it's 1-2. We talked about Eric Trask, and he's a guy that definitely played well for the Buccaneers last season. Making the shift, called strike 3, and that's the 2nd consecutive strikeout for Trask. Trask has done very well since entering, although he did have the hit batter, but other than that, he has been pretty sharp here in his first appearance of the summer. But as we were starting to tell the story, that Trask last season, very, very good. 29 innings pitched, 29 strikeouts, a couple saves, 1.86 ERA. So definitely one of the top performers out there for the Buccaneers. Here's Jose Carballo. He takes low, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Jose Carballo has been the catcher for the entire game. Left-handed hitter awaiting the pitch. There it is, and it's in there for strike 1, 1-1 the count. Pirates looking to get off to the right foot here for their first win of the season in their first game. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, right side, straight at the second baseman, Channing Varela, who fields it cleanly after a little nasty hop right before he made the catch, and retires the hitter, Carballo, for the 2nd out of the inning. And now, Pirates are 1 out away from their first victory of the season. And here comes Tyler DeGant, the designated hitter. He says, not so fast. I want to start a 2-out rally right here and get my team headed in the right direction. Trask fires. Strike 1. 0-1 the count. Well, Tyler DeGant, 0 for 2, but he does have a couple walks and a couple of runs scored, so has been productive as the DH. Swings and fouls this one back, and it's 0-2. So Tyler DeGant down to his final strike, as to are the Fire at 5 o'clock local time. we're going to have to squeeze in that final game, as this one misses outside for a ball and maybe record time. We'll see what happens. I don't imagine that they would try to make it a 7-inning game, but we'll keep you updated on that, because we're probably going to have to take at least 30 minutes off in between games. Fastball outside for another ball. But we will keep you abreast of that, and we will continue to give you information about that on our website. I mean, you can just look at the tweets on our website, because it'll be our Twitter account that is updating that. As another ball now, after being ahead 0-2, it's now a full count. So Tyler DeGant working his way all the way back in this at bat from 0-2 down to 3-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on, liner over towards the third baseman, and takes a bad hop. So third baseman Urbach couldn't handle it. And the Fire are in business here with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. Danny Amendolara comes to the plate. 1 for 2, couple walks, and a run scored for the Fire here today. Number 8 spot in the lineup is where Lake Havasu is. This one's low for ball 1, 1-0 the count. 11-9 the score. Pirates trying to cling to and hold on to that 2-run lead. If you're the Fire, this is all you could ask for. You have the tying run at the plate. And this one misses inside, and it's 2-0. So for the Fire, they are hoping to get an ultimate 2-out rally, kind of like what we saw yesterday for the Buccaneers. Of course, the Buccaneers ended up losing it in the bottom of the 9th, and this is called a strike. So it's now 2-1 here to Amendolara. As we mentioned, the Buccaneers with 2 outs in the 9th inning, down 2 runs, coming through with a 3-run double before just losing it in the bottom of the 9th with a couple errors. Fastball misses low and away. 3-1 the count here for Trask. You definitely don't want to give up a walk here if you're Eric. Ground ball over towards the third baseman Urbach. He's got it. Fires on the hop. And the pick is made over there at first base by Nick Marshall, who went down to a knee. He's used to blocking balls behind home plate. And that'll do it. And that is the first Pirate victory of the season in their very first game. A wild 11-9 decision that the Pirates win. And just to kind of round it out, sum it up, I should say, really the inning to watch was the 4th inning for the Pirates, where they sent 14 hitters up to the plate and scored 8 runs. And at that point, you looked at it and you were like, wow, it's 9-3. This game has to be over, right? Not so fast, because Lake Havasu ended up scoring 5 in the 6th to make it a 9-8 ball game before the Inland Valley Pirates scored a couple runs in the bottom of the 6th to get a few more insurance runs and take that 11-8 lead at the time. And obviously the final score 11-9 after Lake Havasu tacked on 1 in the 8th. But you have to say that Nolan Henley had, I mean, you score 11 runs, so a lot of guys had great games, but Nolan Henley definitely stands out as a guy who, in that one inning that we mentioned where you sent up 14 players and scored 8 runs, he had a couple hits, a double, a single, 3 RBIs, and a run scored just in that one inning, not to mention having another base hit after that as well. So a 3-hit day for him. And also just going down the lineup, pretty much everybody contributing to at least a run scored. Every single guy in the starting lineup scored a run in this game for the Pirates. So that's pretty good anytime you can do that, for sure, here at Cal Poly Pomona. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. So glad you joined us for the first game of the doubleheader and the first game of the season for the Pirates. Pirates take it. The final decision is 11-9, as we mentioned. And that'll do it for this game. That'll wrap it up. We'll give you the final tallies. As we said, it was 11-9. Pirates finishing with 13 hits and 1 error, and Lake Havasu with 8 hits, no errors. We'll see you very shortly. Thanks for listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.